Welcome back to the Police Recruiting Show. We have a topic today that I think everyone's going to be interested in, and that is diversity in law enforcement, but specifically the 30 for 30 program, Women in Law Enforcement, which is a program that is really pushing to get 30% police officers to be women. I think it's a good thing. Doug and I both worked with plenty of women in law enforcement. They serve an important role. They're in many aspects better than men at many functions law enforcement does, but traditionally it's been a male dominated profession. So I know, Doug, you talked to a lot of clients that ask you this question. They're interested in recruiting, but they want to specifically recruit for women. And so there's some problems with that, right? So on digital, on recruiting, you can't discriminate. The social media accounts do not let you discriminate, which is a good thing. But if you're looking for males between the ages of 21 and 30 or females of this or that, you can't recruit towards that. And I want you to first talk about the dangers if an agency tries to do that, Doug. And this is one of the reasons you don't advocate for them to use their own social media accounts. So talk about the dangers if you try to go in and recruit specifically for gender or race.
Yeah. So you got to be very careful when you're running employment ads, because if you run afoul of the rules, then your account will be suspended. And if you get your account shut down, I mean, it's over. So that's too bad. Your department can no longer be active in those social media channels. And so we don't advocate upfront doing that off your department's Facebook or Meta or whatever account you're going to be using, just for those reasons. And make sure you got somebody that's going to stay current on all the rules and gets the ads approved properly. And you're working within the parameters are set there, because you can't discriminate against people. But we do see that there are a lot of departments that ask for more women in law enforcement, and that 30 for 30 goal, that it's achievable. It has been achieved by departments, has been exceeded by departments, and there's different ways to go about making that happen. And we can help with that.
So if you can't target ads specifically towards women or race or whatever else it may be, how do you go about doing that, Doug? First, let me back up with, you have several social media pages you use to advertise for agencies. Some agencies get confused. They think, well, if they don't use my page, it doesn't work as well. Well, actually, the truth is the opposite, right? Boosting posts off your personal page isn't actually as effective as what you guys do. You have pages that are dedicated to this. You run so many campaigns, those algorithms are tied in pretty tight. The more you run, the better you get for an agency. So that's why you sort of steer them to you for obviously the reasons you just talked about. You don't want to have to keep up with all the rules and risk your page going down and losing all those followers. So use your own page for your branding and what you do now. You can even throw some recruiting stuff out there. Just be very careful when you do that. But you run dedicated pages for that agency, and it's coming from that agency, but it's just based on your page, do you not?
Yeah, correct. That's exactly how we do it. And that way, and we don't want access to any department's Facebook page, passwords, any of that information. We don't need it to run a campaign. We stay completely clear of that. The campaign is still a custom campaign for your department. It shows, it looks like it's coming from you. Everybody that applies knows they're applying for your department, but it stays away from having any issues with your department pages. And that's a best practice. You should never be running off your main page anyway, in case something happens.
So I'm a department. Hey, Doug, I've signed up for this 30 for 30 program. What can you do for me when it comes to getting more women? What's some of the tricks and tips that you do for me if I need that?
A lot of that's an approach, right? You're careful how you got to word the ad and what you put in the ad, but photos do a great job of sending a message. Photos do come across. It speaks a lot of words in itself. So photos, where those photos are taken. I mean, there's a lot that, what is successful in recruiting women, what interests women. Everybody's different in why they get into law enforcement. And this is where some departments, I think, need to change a little bit, or maybe take a greater interest in who's working for your department and why they're working there, and how we can go kind of replicate getting more people involved based off of what was successful in getting the people that are on your department already involved, and you can do that through a lot of there's branding, there's surveys, there's information, there's interviews, and you put that all together and you mold that into a campaign that goes out and it targets these areas, it targets these people, and it's with the messaging done more through photos and the way you place it.
It's more subconscious, right? So you're not just outwardly on Facebook or Instagram saying, hey, we want women, because that would get you banned, but it's subconscious through the images you're using or the videos you're using that speaks to different people. And you A/B test this, so you have a really good understanding what works and what doesn't work. When I say A/B test, I mean you'll run multiple ads and you'll track who's hitting the ads. And when one ad is hitting more females, so to speak, you'll double down on that ad. That's kind of how you go about it, is it not?
Yeah, correct. We run a lot of ads during a month. We fully track everything that comes back, and we share that with the department so they can make the most informed decisions going forward on where they want to reach, where they want to target, and how they want to spend their advertising dollars. And that's very important. If you're not getting any of that information, don't spend any money, because you've got to have all this information to be able to intelligently drive your campaign to be successful.
It's good stuff. If you got any questions, reach out to Doug right there at safeguardrecruiting.com. He'll talk to you for nothing. He'll consult with you for nothing. He'll help you out. These guys are the real deal. Doug Larsen, thanks for being on.
Thank you.